hate puppies. Good podcast.
I feel threatened. I'm in London.
Yeah, you are this week. We'll see where you are next week.
Mind the gap.
Oh, God.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Inside the Pallet House, the only podcast dedicated to solving first world problems and hopefully helping you figure out what beer you should be drinking. And this week only,
A special.
we may actually help you solve a mystery 4 years in the making.
Yeah, this week. So if you haven't pieced it together, it's just a two-man show. We're recording this on a beautiful Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock. Kind of messing our groove up, but
It's a time we never do, but honestly, whatever time this man wanted to go, I wanted to talk because I have one answer and many questions.
we've been putting this off. Well, not putting it off. We've been trying to make this happen, line up all the stars where all of us could get together and talk at the same time. So I'm excited. I mean, not where I thought I'd be on a beautiful Saturday afternoon, but like you said, when the man's available, we're going to
Well, he's a mysterious man.
Mysterious.
And you never know what all.
Maybe
he's
man.
done. Which
I haven't talked to... from the clandestine pictures, looks like a dude, but who knows?
yes. Now, to tell you the truth, I haven't spoken to him on the phone ever.
Yeah.
I believe I've met this person now, though. Like now that it's all come to light, he has hung out in the old man room.
I feel like I may have met him once, too.
Now that I've all pieced it
Yeah.
together, so very, very interesting. If you haven't pieced it together, then you're not a long-time listener. You're probably a new listener. There's been a very mysterious man by the name of BooBoo Mysterio who has sent us beer.
I was going to say, do we want to give the backstory before we call him, or
No, I think I'd rather
do it on air?
talk to him because I want to understand so many things.
Yeah.
So many things. So I don't know how long this will drag on. I don't know how damn mysterious this guy is.
Yeah.
He may be like, ha, and hang up.
Yeah.
That could be how it works as well. Should I just dive right in?
I say we just call him.
You want me just to? All right.
I mean, we planned on contacting him around 3 o'clock. It's 15 after 3.
Yeah, which is early for us.
Yeah.
I just realized I haven't really eaten today. I just took that first sip of that beer and it hit my stomach and it burnt as opposed to being like, ooh, so refreshing.
Yeah.
It was like, what are you doing?
I've been doing not eating yet.
I had like a couple eggs this morning, so I guess I ate a little. But like I got up this morning, I ate a couple eggs, and then I just started
going all day.
Been doing yard work all day, and
Yeah, your weeds look good.
now thank you. It almost looks like grass today.
Hey, when they're all cut the same length, it looks good.
For the weekend, I like to trim the weeds down.
That's right.
Pretend I have a lush
Have a
lawn.
yard.
It's very nice today. Oh, that's good. Good for me to know that that's
Yeah.
not working yet. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna see if I can crack the code here.
Let's call him.
Let's see if this even works.
Yeah, again, new board, calling.
Oh, that's good news. It dials.
I hear it.
I hear it.
Will he pick up?
I told him I'd text him. I didn't text him.
Well, hello there.
Is this BooBoo?
This is BooBoo.
BooBoo,
You've caught me.
last name Mysterio.
BooBoo, you are live. We are recording right now, and you're talking to Brendan and Troy. We are super excited.
It's a day of reckoning, I guess.
It is. This has been a long time coming. I'd say what, four plus years that this
At least, yeah.
unbelievable. So to give a little, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, how did you do it? How did you find me?
Well, we need to start at the beginning.
I need to
for
go
all
back.
the new listeners who haven't been following along for all these years.
I got to know
Okay.
right out the jump. Was it ever intended to be mysterious, or was it just a mistake and then it blossomed from there?
It was a mistake and blossomed from there. Originally, I just sent in the beer, and I didn't realize how freaked out you would be by the whole thing. So then it just grew, and then it became way more mysterious than I ever intended.
That's great to know.
I love that he leaned right into it. He's like, all right, let's go.
Well, as pros, I mean, we want to build up the story. So
Yeah.
we're on the air. We want to make it interesting. So we tried to,
Of course,
build it up. And then I think maybe we pushed you down a road.
Brendan, refresh my memory. Like, what was the first interaction with BooBoo, and how did this whole thing get going?
The first time something happened, we ended up receiving a beer from outside of San Diego. And when I looked at the return address, it was an RV park, not the kind of RV park you live in, the kind of RV park people go to vacation.
Yeah.
And I got this beer that I'd never had, and I was like, oh, this is sweet. This is a beer. I wonder who it's from. So I looked up the address, and I'm like, RV park. I'm like, who's this transient son of a bitch sending me beer?
From California, no easy task.
Yeah, all the way from California. And so I thought, okay, this is a little odd. And so I think we brought it up on the air, and we're like, hey, we got this beer, but we don't know who it's from. And it was kind of left at that for that first one. Then we got another beer from somewhere else on the West Coast. And I was like,
wasn't there a picture involved?
I think it took two before on the air I was like, I don't know that this guy's really a listener, like, or something. I think we know this person. Maybe he's not really in an RV park. Like, I thought what you were doing was somehow spoofing an address.
Yeah,
like,
BooBoo, speak up if we're messing this story up, or if your timeline's different. Is that how you recall it happening?
I couldn't remember where I sent the first beer from, but if you say San Diego, that's probably right. And I do remember taking a picture in San Francisco and sending that in. So I think your timeline's pretty spot on.
Okay, because I remember we said something like, I don't think this guy has an RV. And I was just trying to figure out if someone was locally spoofing their address or something. We said, send us a picture of this RV, and you did.
Yes.
You took a picture of this RV on this gorgeous road.
Yes, I remember that.
And you had a pair of Nectar sunglasses in it, and ITPH on the license plate. Yes. And I was like,
well, so there was a couple pictures, because the one picture I sent did have the Nectars, and then it was when I sent the Pilsner Urquell.
Yes.
And that was from San Francisco. But then there was a separate picture that you're speaking of where I doctored the license plate. That was in Arizona somewhere, I think, when I was traveling.
So BooBoo, tell us what you were doing out there on the West Coast. Do you live out there? Do you work out there? Were you just on vacation?
Well, so that's why I'm curious to how much you guys really have discovered about me, and to know why I was traveling in all these locations before I spilled the beans.
Well, let's see.
I never pieced it together, because all it was doing to me was creating this map with pins in it. And I'm like, it doesn't add up. Now, I had no idea who you were, so I wasn't able to, try to put together some kind of a timeline or any logical reason you were there. I honestly thought maybe you were like a retiree, and we're just bouncing from place to place. And I thought, wow, this really bumps up the demo. I was trying to go younger, but we've gotten older, was my thought process.
So without burying the lead, I was traveling for work. So I'm not a retiree.
Well, and so I later on, as I figured more things out, I pieced together that you moved around a lot for work. That much I was able to piece together, and I don't know if I'm even close, but I think it has something to do with homes or construction. Am I on the right path?
You are way off.
Oh, wow. And I've never asked anybody, so I have this is just my deduction. So way off.
I assumed BooBoo was one of the, and this still could be true, one of the random listeners that came across ITPH in their podcast, searches, and just liked us and kind of went with us there, and I think we know who it is, but we still haven't confirmed who we think we know it is.
Well, just because Double J isn't even helpful in this context, because technically they're both Double J's. Yeah. But yeah, he's never spilled the beans.
No.
So My brother was not in on any of this. He did give me your address and phone number. That's as far as he was in on it.
Yeah, and that's what it took me forever to figure that out. And I thought it was him. I honestly thought it was him. I was like, "You're fucking."
I saw the Marco Polos.
Yeah, I thought it was him.
That is awesome.
And he's like, "No, man, I don't have anything to do with this." And he's like, "Why do you think it's me?" And I'm like, "If it's not you, then it's adjacent to you," because I had narrowed it that far. So, what are you in? Are you in IT then, on some level?
So this brings me to one of my favorite clues that I gave you guys that you did not get.
Oh yeah, there's a
Oh.
dozen
that-
of those.
This is like the Masked
Yes,
Singer.
there's a lot
where
of
he
them.
Probably gave us like spelled out his entire name, and we missed the whole damn thing.
Do you remember when I said that it's been a while since I contacted you because I was in the ICU?
Yes, and I was
we were very
concerned
worried
about
you.
that.
Yes. Well, it's because I work in an ICU.
Now you see that I
I
thought,
had no idea.
but and that was cleared up a little in the next correspondence. You said I never said that I was sick. I was
Exactly.
there. Now my dumbass.
Well, Double J had been in the ICU.
No, so that's actually what's funny is that was so by getting the clue wrong, I finally found the trail because I saw that and I was like, oh wow, Jason, he had gotten that in that fire
Yeah.
and he'd had a kid that was in that spent a little time in the hospital, and so I was like, hey, these timelines add up. So
Yeah, his accident worked out great for me.
yeah, like so, yeah, it worked out better for all of us than him.
Yeah.
That's
He
for
got
sure.
short into that deal.
For sure. But so that's actually what put me down that road was that clue. I just convoluted it. So sometimes it's better to be lucky than smart.
True.
So we've talked about this on air, and I have to say it again as we pulled out your old letters here. Your handwriting is just something to be in awe of. Like you can't hardly read my handwriting, and yours is impeccable.
And I've never seen anyone in the medical profession, based on every prescription I've ever seen,
Yeah.
they write like they've got cerebral palsy. Like that's what doctors do.
How did we come up with the name BooBoo Mysterio? I think you came
I
up
think
with
that was Ely.
It was because I started going, hey, BooBoo, because he was at one of those places.
He was at a Jellystone or something.
Yeah, and then Ely made a comment about BooBoo. Like, we call him BooBoo, and I was like, yeah, but he's so mysterious. And it just became BooBoo Mysterio. And that was,
I just accepted it. Yeah.
and
You
that
just
was
ran with it.
that was after probably like 3 correspondence at
Yeah.
that point, and then 2 photos, which were gorgeous photos.
Yeah,
Give you
from
credit.
our point of view, it looked like BooBoo was driving a Class C RV through just beautiful state parks on the western side of the country. But in reality, it sounds like he was working.
Yes. So I'll lay it out a little bit for you. I was a traveling nurse.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense because
Good money
they
in that.
go everywhere.
Yeah.
Yes. So my now wife and I sold our homes in Pennsylvania, purchased the 5th wheel and the truck, and hit the road and traveled around the country.
How awesome was that, dude? Speak on that a little
Yeah,
bit.
that's
'cause
fantastic.
I would love to hear about that.
Oh, it was amazing. It was one of the best decisions I've ever made, for certain. I mean, you're getting paid pretty good money to essentially see the country. So we typically did 3-month contracts. We went around. We started in South Carolina, and then we went out to one of Brendan's old stomping grounds, the Phoenix, Scottsdale area.
Hey, I
Stayed
lived
for
there.
3 months. Yeah.
So this is the
then-
Francis Marion postcard on King Street, which sent me down a fucking rabbit hole trying to figure out if the Francis Marion Hotel had something to do with it. And then I started dissecting King Street, and I thought maybe you were in Alexandria because of King Street.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, no, you made your own tangents. I mean, it worked out great.
that's the problem. I'm such
You're an easy mark, dude.
a confident idiot that I'll pick up a breadcrumb and assume it's a loaf and just run with it.
So BooBoo.
Yeah, it made the Mysterio that much better.
Yeah. So how long did you and your now wife do this for?
We were traveling for just over 2 years, about 2.5 years, I think.
At 3-month intervals, and you got to assume you picked where you wanted to go.
For the most part, yes. We told our company what cities we were interested in. Obviously, they had to look for assignments where she's an ICU nurse as well. So we both worked at the same hospital, same ICUs most of the times. So yeah, we just told them where we wanted to go. They'd set it up, and we'd plan accordingly. Book RV park, that sort of thing. So we had somewhere to park and stay, and then we could kind of like inundate ourselves with the area. Live in California for a little bit, and
so I cut you off. I cut you off in Scottsdale, Phoenix. Where'd you go after that?
After that, we headed up to the Northwest. So we were in Seattle. I got an RV park about 30 minutes outside of Seattle and worked there.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I've seen the address.
And then after Seattle, we went to San Francisco. Actually stayed in an RV park right next to the old Candlestick 49er Stadium.
Oh, wow.
For a little while. And then we stayed like right on the coast in Pacifica, which was like, that's where I sent the pic with the nectars.
Nice.
Which looked gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a nice camera. I like to play around and do a little photography. So, the pictures were a little nicer because of that, I think.
It wasn't just an iPhone pic.
It wasn't. No.
No, you could tell though.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, I was going down the road of, okay, this guy's a photographer.
Yeah.
This must
traveling
be it.
photographer.
I went down
Another part of the mystery.
Every road I went down, man. Just all gut reaction, no logic, horrible. I did a very poor job at this. But I think your clues.
I'm glad though.
Yeah, but I think your clues were shit.
Well, that's the point.
What?
Like, what am I supposed to do with a postcard from the St. Marion Hotel?
Just letting you know he was there.
It doesn't help.
I just updating you on my location. I knew you were interested in where I was at.
Yes,
we
were.
I was, yes. Every so often we would send a shout out, and then you would respond with something. But this one just, I mean, that threw me down all the wrong roads.
I love it.
And there's a guy with your name in Alexandria who has a construction company.
Well, I knew you couldn't be that close to the truth when you were saying that my current address was in Alexandria, because I have not ever lived in Alexandria. So.
I narrowed it, and I found someone with your name who actually had a construction company in Alexandria, and I was like, this makes sense. And that's how I had pieced together kind of the King Street lead to King Street in Alexandria, and it was on King Street, this company, and I'm like, I got him. But it didn't add
helps
up.
Too that I have a generic ass name, so there's probably a million of me.
That's very true. Smith is probably the only thing more common. So,
yeah.
And your parents went with, for you and your brother, just basic first names too. It's not anything out of the ordinary.
No.
Well, I got confused 6 ways to Sunday. I won't deny it. It was brutal for me to try to piece this together. And I still don't know. I mean, I have some of these letters here, and I still don't know what the hell. Like, I don't know.
I don't remember what I wrote, but I know I put plenty of clues in there. Whether or not I'd remember them now or not, but I was trying to, give you some clues, but not give it right away, because, like you said, the mystery just kept growing all along. So I wasn't trying to spoil it.
So why did you capitalize the word royal? You said you were royally busy in one, and you capitalized the R in royally mid-sentence. Yeah. And I was like, that struck me as odd. So I zeroed in on it, which royal, and then I got the King Street thing. You can see how I'm spinning.
I know. Yes, I can see how that threw you off.
He would, BooBoo, he would like Marco Polo me at night, and it'd be like Zach Galifianakis, that gif where like all the numbers, beautiful mind, like he was all over the place. I mean, you had him all crossed up.
Well, this is exactly what I wanted to happen, so I'm glad.
Yes. Oh, you hit it out of the park.
I love that there was no intention to be mysterious. It was actually just a screw up, and then it was my neurosis that drove you to have fun? You were like, oh, this is great.
Well, I was getting feedback. I was getting feedback from my brother about your neurosis. So then, yeah, it emboldened me to keep going.
So was the royally, the capital R, intentional for any reason, or was that not a clue?
It was a clue, and it was an obscure clue, but a clue, because I didn't know if you knew anything or if you were going to get close. But
no, I don't. I don't know anything.
So
still,
yeah. The Royals, that's the mascot for the university that I am currently a student at.
Oh,
So I'm currently enrolled in a graduate program at the University of Scranton in Scranton, Pennsylvania.
The Royals.
I wouldn't have known that. Like,
I know. Like I said, obscure, but I threw in a lot of clues.
But they were all obscure, right?
Unless
for the most part,
we wouldn't make good detectives.
Oh no! Allow me to quote BooBoo Mysterio here. Where is this really nice line he put in here? I believe he called us the worst detective podcast. Yeah, worst detective podcast, right there.
Well, I think it all goes back to I think it goes back to the fact that my brother has specifically told you guys what I was doing, and that I was a travel nurse, and that I was in some of these certain locations.
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
I can tell you now that you say that he has told me your career, which you see how well I held on to that information because you just asked me.
Right.
It's like, construction. Gotcha. See? So, but I don't think he's ever told me how much you were traveling around. So
Did he ever tell you he went to Seattle to visit me?
I don't recall that, but
Okay.
see, in my mind, if he did tell us that, I would assume you lived there. I wouldn't have assumed you were traveling there, because who meets someone while they're traveling?
He has told me you travel a lot, you move around a lot. I remember having those conversations with him, and that actually probably should have clicked. But I also was not going down the road of you were his brother. Do you know what I mean?
And let's also not forget, he moved away a few years ago, and we haven't. There was a while we were keeping up with him. We don't talk to him. At least I don't talk to him nearly as much.
I talked to him on Marco Polo, so it's kind of like transient conversations. And the other problem I have with Jason is he and I tend to drink a lot when we hang out.
Wait, what?
It doesn't lend itself to deep. Well, they're deep, but memorable conversation.
Yeah, Brendan and I had a 40-minute conversation last night, and I think I remember 5 minutes of it.
I remember thinking this would have been a good podcast. But that was it, because I was out here testing the new phone setup.
The new phone system, and he called me, and
which of course I call him at 11 o'clock at night while I've got a 3 fingers of bourbon in front of me.
It was closer to midnight when you called.
And then I call him up and go, "Hey, I'm just testing the equipment." And that's kind of how we roll here.
Well, do you remember meeting me before? I've met both you guys.
That's what we before we called you.
You came to the old man room.
Yes.
And I remember that. But I don't remember this Men's Warehouse incident you call out. Was that real?
Oh, that was real. I held the door open for you when you left.
And you didn't say anything to me.
No.
Son of a bitch, man.
That is hilarious. Now,
and that was just by coincidence. I was in Men's Warehouse, like using a gift card I got for Christmas or something, and I saw you, and I think you were there with your wife and daughters, and you kind of like caught my eye. I was like, that guy looks kind of familiar. Like, I don't know. And then
I probably
finally
had the
clicked.
same. Yeah, we probably both had the same reaction. Like, I know this guy,
but from where?
Yeah, but how? So you don't want to get too like yesterday. I'm standing at this golf course, and this guy is staring like at me, and he's kind of like looking around, and he's getting all excited, and then he starts walking towards me. And I turn to my buddy, and I'm like,
I have no idea.
Hey, man, do you know this guy? And he's like, no. And I'm like, he's making a beeline for me, and he's been staring at me like crazy. And I'm like, you don't know him? He's like, nah. And I'm like, crap. Like, I don't have any idea who this guy is. Like, this is going to suck when he gets here. And then he walks up, and he's like, excuse me, I'm just trying to find my kids. They were right behind you guys. And I'm like, oh, thank God.
Thank God I don't know you. Sorry about your kids.
Yeah. Well, he goes, they're being little shits. So he was in a good mood. He like kept moving, but yeah. So I don't, that one sent me down a different road because I assumed, okay, you have to be local. And I went so far, I'm not even kidding. I went so far as to go back into Men's Warehouse and I asked the manager if he knew anybody that used to come in on the regular and was here on this day that maybe has been in the ICU lately.
That is such a stupid thing to do.
Yeah, you're like checking the security cameras and stuff.
That manager probably looked at you. Yeah, you walked out of the door, Brendan, and that manager probably like turned to his coworkers like, "You'll never believe what this customer just asked me."
I was desperate. I was like, "Hey man, I was in here on this day, and there was a gentleman here who was shopping, and he's sick. He's in the ICU. And so if you know any details on this, I would love to know, how he's doing, or if you could tell me anything about him." And he's like, "Man, I don't know anybody that's in the ICU right now." I was like, "Damn it."
Okay, BooBoo. In Brendan's defense, if you walked in here right now, I would not know who you are unless you look like your brother. But if we met,
he's got the hair, he's got the beautiful hair.
Okay, then I might recognize him. But if we met and we met at the old man room, Brendan, you've lived here 6 years now. Like, it's been a long time. And if it was at that old man room, things got sideways a lot there.
We partied all night.
Yeah,
Like we had a blast out there. Like I
For sure. I wouldn't expect. I honestly wouldn't expect you guys to recognize me. I was probably only there for an hour or 2 hours. It was probably like some fight or something like that my brother took me over there. But
yeah, but I remember that.
I don't blame you.
But I obviously, we locked eyes, so I was like, I've seen this guy, and then you just took it and you twisted it. Messed with my mind.
So when you saw him at BooBoo, when you saw him at Men's Warehouse, this whole BooBoo Mysterio thing was already ongoing.
Yes.
So
yeah, this was
so
like
he
smack
could
in the
have
middle of it. Yeah.
So he could have said something and ruined it, but he just doubled down on it and just kept going.
But I don't think in the moment, did you know who I was?
Yeah, I figured it out in the store. Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Especially if he heard you talking.
Yeah, and
you were trying on blazers, so I don't know. I put it together.
That adds up. I'm a sport coat guy.
Dude, that is hilarious.
Which now, ever since the stupid pandemic, nobody wears
Nobody
suits
dresses
or
up,
sport coats.
yeah.
Yeah, no one dresses up. So now I've got a closet full of dope sport coats that I had for work, and it's like, if I'm wearing a sport coat, now I'm that guy.
You're the stuffy guy?
Yeah, and like everyone's in jeans and a button down. So
Yeah, they're now
like,
making like fancy sweatpants that look like pants that they want you to wear.
Yeah, like Mugsies and
Who is ever like, man, my jeans and or khakis are so uncomfortable. I can't wait to get them off.
it's true. Like jeans were made to be comfortable and durable.
Yeah.
That was the whole shtick.
Khakis are too if they fit you right. Like, they're just cotton. Like, it's...
Yeah, it's not like you're wearing armor. Like, I can't wait to get out of this chainmail. Fucking ridiculous.
I don't know. Coming from a guy who wears scrubs every day, I feel like I like the fancy sweatpants. I'm gonna have to say I come home and get into my comfy pants.
Well, I definitely put
Scrubs are comfy, aren't they?
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Like,
Yeah, like he has to go down a whole different level.
yeah, but if he's in an ICU, he's basically putting armor on over top of his comfy clothes all day, which is uncomfortable. All that stuff is uncomfortable. All the extra gowns and masks and gloves and eyewear and all that stuff. That's
especially in 2020.
Yeah.
This must have been a rough couple years.
Well, to be honest, I've been in school for 3 years now, so I haven't actually been in the ICU.
Well played.
Oh wow.
Oh,
You
that's
lucked out.
why Royally Busy. It's not an ICU reference. It's Royally Busy trying to get the Masters. You son of a bitch.
It's a
Piecing it together.
What's your take on the fact that teachers are now bigger heroes for working in a pandemic than anybody in healthcare? You wouldn't.
They should visit an ICU because my wife has still been working as a travel nurse in the ICU and it's been pretty rough. So
yeah, BooBoo, but they may have 23 different kids a day in their classroom. You wouldn't understand the stressors that are involved in that world.
That's a good point, Troy. That is a good point.
Look, I worked. I'm not a healthcare professional, but I worked doing fire safety in a hospital, and have been in many a OR suite and ICU and stuff. And kudos to anyone who works in that stuff, especially during the pandemic. Holy cow, it's rough just on a day-to-day basis in there. I can't imagine. I'm sure you and your wife come home and just are beat up after a day of that.
Oh yeah, no, it's stressful for sure. And honestly, COVID was pretty crazy, but it actually worked out in my benefit because I actually got to go back to my house in South Carolina because we were doing virtual classes. So,
oh, nice.
I'm not a big fan of Scranton, Pennsylvania. So the more I could get out, yeah.
I have never been. The only thing is I would think of is The Office, like everyone else.
That is all everyone says when you say Scranton. Oh, the Office, yeah. No,
That's probably
is there like another booming industry of like office, like storefronts that sell office stuff up there? Like I bet people would go up there just to buy the gear and walk around.
No, it's mostly just like booming with like meth and fentanyl and
nice.
Poverty and.
Oh, that's pretty sweet. Then
that's a different angle.
Oh yeah.
That's
no,
good money for ICU.
Yeah, exactly. Good business for the hospitals, but other than that, there's nothing here. So you're not missing anything if you haven't traveled up here.
This fentanyl thing is getting out of hand, huh?
I mean, yeah, it's pretty crazy. Of course, I use fentanyl all the time, like doing my job. But yes, it gets a very bad rap.
You use it the proper way, not the recreational way, huh?
Yes, no, I'm not lacing it into anything.
I would like to isolate that drop though. Like I use BooBoo saying I use fentanyl all the time.
and then the more you know star goes across.
That'd be a good. Actually, so your brother could probably help me with that drop.
Double J, get that drop.
Yeah, I use it appropriately.
Small doses.
So what's the end game here with the Masters? I'm assuming it's not going back in the ICU, but to like maybe do admin or something?
It's a doctorate, so let's get that straight.
Oh, apologies.
No, the end game is I will be a nurse anesthetist. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Good money there.
Yeah. I actually graduate in. I don't know, about 6 weeks. So I'm almost done. Thank you. It's a 3-year program. So it's been a long 3 years, but I'm looking forward to being done. I already got a job lined up in South Carolina, which, as you know, where I currently live, you know so much about me. But I'm down there in Greenville, South Carolina. And I got a job down there.
Nice.
But you currently reside in Pennsylvania, so don't get it twisted.
I do. I have, yes. I am in a townhouse in beautiful Scranton.
So I actually had sent BooBoo something the other day.
Oh, you did? Okay. Up to Scranton?
It didn't say Scranton proper, I don't think. It was some other.
No, it is. Yeah, it's Scranton area. Yeah. And I received it, and I would like to thank you for that because I was expecting like an ITPH hat or a T-shirt or something like that. Maybe a koozie.
So those are here, and when you're here in person, you will get the swag. But the least I could do, I sent him a couple bottles of the winning bourbon.
Oh, nice! That was very nice.
I figured if I'm going to mail something, it had to be booze.
Yeah,
because
that's how we interact.
We've gotten plenty of booze from him, so that was the logic behind that. We do need to order more hats.
We do.
I didn't expect it, but I do appreciate it.
We've never bought hats. You and I have the only hats.
That's what I'm saying. We need to officially place an order.
Or T-shirts. Those hats were like $45.
Oh, you're saying BooBoo's worth like 20?
No, I'm just saying you're making it sound like we're going to put an order out. You and I each ordered one-off hat. We haven't ever placed we placed a big T-shirt order and big koozie order and big sticker order, but we've never placed a big hat order.
Yeah, I do. I should have thrown a koozie in there. I didn't.
Yeah.
I was kind of in a rush.
That sounds like you.
Yeah. I was running around. I'd had the bottles for weeks. Just waiting to get the address.
So BooBoo, well, you must know how hard it is to mail liquor then. It is mail alcohol, right?
Is it tremendous?
It sounds like a nightmare and super expensive.
Well, not if you don't tell them it's liquor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, you.
Boom.
But
yeah, that's the key.
yeah, I was in there and I was just waiting.
Well, you can't, right? It's illegal.
It's illegal.
Yeah.
I was sending local honey.
Ah.
That's
Oh,
right.
I sent you guys homemade salsa.
Yeah, see? You and I are very much on the same page, my friend.
I love this.
Yep. I was
That
like, it's
is glorious.
local honey. That's all I could think of.
That's hilarious.
I figured, it's heavy. It's about this shape.
So, BooBoo, my dad's lived in South Carolina for quite a while. He lived over in the Anderson area and has since moved further west to a little town called Westminster. Ever heard of it?
I have not heard of Westminster. I've heard of Anderson. That's not too far from me.
Yeah, Westminster's up in the mountains, I think, like almost in the Georgia or something over there, whatever the next state is, Tennessee.
Okay, I mean that's a beautiful area.
Yeah, I've yet to get down there to see his new place, but we used to go to Anderson every year. I liked it down there.
Yeah, I mean it's
South
a great place. It's Greenville. That whole area is really up and coming. It's getting a lot of attention. A lot of people going into the area. Of course, there's always been like the bigger companies there, BMWs down there.
Yep.
Adidas, Michelin, all that stuff. But
The last time.
it was actually the first place that my wife and I traveled to, the Greenville Spartanburg area, and it just had such a good feeling to it. At first she was like, "Oh yeah, this is where we're going to settle down." I was like, this is literally the first place that we've traveled to. We want to travel the whole country, so we did that. We traveled the whole country, and then we came back and ended up buying a house there because we liked it so much.
So you were right.
Well, yeah. So where
she was right.
Yeah.
Where is she from? And part two of that question, of your travels, what other places? I'm not very well traveled. I've been up and down the East Coast, but not a lot out west. What other places did you really enjoy, or would you recommend for, a vacation or just to see the beauty of?
Yeah, for sure. So she's actually from the Scranton area.
Okay.
She was born up here. She went to school up here, and then
She's old meth money.
Oh yeah. She was here before the meth moved in, and then
Pre-office.
Yes, pre-office, pre-meth, and then we met up here because I took a job in Pennsylvania. Originally, I went to Virginia Tech for a biology degree, so I was out there by Radford, and then I worked in Richmond. But then I ended up going back to nursing school in Pennsylvania. And then I got a job in Pennsylvania. I met her at the hospital I was working at. So then, yeah. Other places we visited, I mean, we kind of hit some of the major cities because I was pretty sheltered growing up, so I never really traveled at all. I don't even think I had been across like the Mississippi until we had a fifth wheel and traveled out west.
Wow.
So yeah, so we did it big, I really enjoyed Arizona, but I'm kind of have a skewed view as well because when I was in Phoenix,
you knew Brendan
lived
there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, you
exactly.
were starstruck.
We were planning on doing Phoenix and then going to Canada and where else are you from, Brendan? Chicago. Yeah,
Northern Virginia.
Yep.
Our plans just went awry after Phoenix. No, but I was there in the winter, so it was gorgeous.
Oh,
it was 70 degrees.
Yep.
Yeah. We left there the first day that it got over 90 degrees. So I didn't have to deal with the asphalt melting or anything like that.
You didn't have the 115-degree days.
Exactly. So, I mean, that area is beautiful. The Red Rocks, you can shoot up to Sedona, do a bunch of hiking there. That just seeing all the cactus, the saguaro and stuff like that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And how many years does it take for a saguaro to grow an arm?
I have no idea.
The answer is 75, BooBoo. Answer 75.
Oh, you're just flexing your Arizona native.
Only a true Arizonian would know that. But then in Seattle was gorgeous. But when you say, "Oh, I was in Seattle," people are like, "Oh, it's rainy and dreary there all the time." Well, similar to when I was in Arizona, when I was in Seattle, It was a 52-day stretch of drought. It was like a Guinness record or something for the longest drought period in Seattle. So it was gorgeous.
Seattle is gorgeous,
city.
though. Those kind of places that stay, it's the same reason Ireland's green, because it's always a soft rain going on. It's the same thing in Seattle. And it's like everything is lush. It's badass. I didn't realize how gorgeous that whole part of the country was until I went there a couple years ago, and I was blown away.
For sure. Yeah. And you go like shoot over to Bainbridge Island. You can, ton of parks in that area, mountains. You can go up to the San Juan Islands and stuff. There's a ton of stuff to do there, whether you want to do outdoor stuff. The hiking is amazing. And then of course the food and the city scene is really cool. So that probably overall was my favorite place, to visit. So I would definitely recommend, checking out the Seattle area.
Yeah, I would like to check that out.
I agree. It was seriously one of the coolest places I've ever seen. I was blown away.
So
I think
you
Pro came from there.
What was BooBoo there before the homeless and homelessness got out of hand and all that stuff?
No,
No, it's been out of hand for a while, I think.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad. I mean, definitely there in San Francisco. San Francisco, definitely dirtier, overcrowded, I mean, cool to visit. I wouldn't ever want to live there. But yeah, no, definitely homeless scene is pretty big over there.
it's got a sweet homeless scene.
Do you appreciate it, Brendan?
They got an app in San Francisco where people can report where all the human poo is on the street, so you can like avoid walking down that street.
Like ways for human poo?
Yeah. Like,
That's good to
just so
know.
you know, there's a pile of feces over there. You might want to take.
Well, I lucked out. I never stepped in any human shit while I was in San Francisco, so I
you see,
didn't have the app either. But
you haven't even experienced San Francisco then.
You can't call yourself a San Franciscan.
Yeah, you got to get back there, man. There is nothing like stepping in some nice human shit.
Yeah.
Dog shit, that's so blasé. Everybody does that.
Everybody's done that once or twice.
Yeah, not me. I step in human shit. I'm a grown up. I'm a man. I'm 40.
But when I was there, I also got to enjoy the fires of California, because there was a huge, wildfire in wine country and all the smoke. Like I'd be working downtown and get out of the hospital, go to my car, and there's ash everywhere and stuff like that. So that was another downside.
Yeah, that's some apocalyptic shit, man, when that's happening.
Yeah, when your whole world's burning around you. So is the plan now, BooBoo, to move down, finish school, get your jobs, go back to South Carolina, start your job? You got a house, you setting up shop down there. You still have the fifth wheel. What's going on with that?
So I've had the fifth wheel the whole time. It is in storage, actually. I sold the truck because my wife was working full time in South Carolina and I was going to school in Pennsylvania. It's like 11-hour drive. And the first summer I started, I just had class one day a week. So I had to drive. I would drive up to Pennsylvania on a Sunday, go to class Monday morning, drive back, and spend the time. Yeah, I did that for the whole first summer of my program. And I'm doing that in a Ram 2500 diesel.
Just sucking down diesel left and right.
Not a great commuter.
Right. So eventually, I sold that and got like a little Sonata. So I don't have the truck anymore, but I still have the fifth wheel.
Well, the Sonata
will tow the hell out of that
Hell
thing.
yeah, dude. Those things are awesome.
Well, it's got a sunroof. So if you open the sunroof, I could probably just put the fifth wheel hitch right down on that.
That's perfect. See, you thought of everything. Hey, speaking of that truck, so when you dropped something off over here, the gardener next door said that it was a black SUV. That is not accurate. That's what
tell us that story, BooBoo.
So,
did you drive that big?
Was the truck black?
Oh, the story's better than that. There's a behind the scenes to the story because I didn't know if you were going to be there or not. First off.
Okay. Yeah.
So I
and he's always
a picture
here
of myself. Yeah, yeah, I know. Especially after COVID, you never leave apparently, right?
That's unfortunately the truth.
So I sent you a picture where I was in an office chair, right? And I had like a hoodie on with like
I'm looking at
it right now.
Looking at it.
Okay. Well, one mistake you made. This office chair is not expensive. On one of the podcasts, you said, "Oh, I can tell that's an expensive office chair right there." It's not. I got it off of Amazon, so it's cheap.
You can still spend a lot of money on Amazon.
I know. Anyway, no. So that mask I'm wearing is actually. You ever seen like the Green Men suit?
Yes.
Okay, so that is a black full body suit. That's not just like a face mask.
Okay, because your hands are completely blacked out. Every interview that I can see is completely blacked out. So I was like, damn it. I got no clues
so
here.
When I went to drop this beer off at your house, I was like, well, I don't know if he's going to be there or not. I'm going to keep the mystery alive. I put this suit on underneath
Shut the front door.
my clothes. Yes. Now, the problem is, I don't know if you've ever worn one of these suits, but it's quite difficult to see out of.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yes. So I was thinking, driving a vehicle might not be the best idea with something covering my eyes.
I'd look a little suspect too, riding around.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was around Christmas, I believe, right? Did I drop that off like a couple years ago?
If the gardener was there, I wouldn't say it's dead of winter, but it could be early winter.
Okay. Maybe around Thanksgiving or something like that.
Yeah, that would make sense.
So I had to be able to put this hood up by myself, but it's got a zipper that runs from the back of your head down to your ass pretty much. So it's not something that, I'm wearing
a two-man
like
operation
and a hoodie. Yeah. So I had to have my mom, because I was visiting my parents, I had my mom tie a packaging like a Christmas ribbon to
Your mom's in on this shit? Come on, this is crazy.
Yeah. So everyone knew except you. So she
I've been in on it too, Brendan, the whole time.
You son of a bitch.
She tied like a packaging Christmas ribbon to the zipper so that I could pull up the zipper on the back and down.
So you look like you're wearing a wetsuit, basically, with one of those with a lanyard on it.
Exactly. So I had to drive over, and I think I was in a blue sedan, not a black SUV.
This fucking bitch. I'm gonna.
And didn't they say something about me being like blonde hair woman?
Yeah, blonde hair woman.
She said, she goes, yeah, black SUV pulled up, and it was either a woman or a man. I was like, you are so fucking helpful. Like I couldn't.
It was not an animal. It was not an animal of any type. It was definitely a human.
She had narrowed it to that. It was a mammal.
You're like,
what we knew.
Good. We'll tell that to the cops. My kids are dead. It was either a woman or a man. Thanks for narrowing that down.
Yeah, well, in this day and age, I mean,
actually,
does open things up. Like, all right,
I felt pretty sketchy because I literally pull up in your neighborhood on the side of the street. I have a hoodie. I put the hood up. I put this mask up. You can't see my face.
No.
And I'm literally walking down. I didn't want to park in front of your house because then,
she didn't notice a guy in a full head to toe black suit, and she noticed an SUV with potentially a woman. She didn't notice that. You walked right by her.
She didn't notice the man without a face.
Yeah. How the hell is this possible?
I don't know.
That is wild.
This
I could have murdered you and no one would have known.
Yeah.
I wish a motherfucker would. Wait, what? No, Brendan, I love you.
That was not cool. Well, and that was the worst part. There's certain listeners who would reach out to me and they'd be like, "Aren't you concerned? Like, this guy knows your address. You don't know who he is, but he knows you." And those people would get in my head. And so I would have these these like swings, right? Where I'm like super high on BooBoo, like he's the greatest. Look at this. Like, this is so much fun. And then I'd have these ne'er-do-wells in my ear, like, this is sketchy. You don't know who he is. And I'd be like, oh, no, maybe that is sketchy. And then, like, I would swing back the other way. I can tell you this. If you send me beer, I swing back to the positive side every time. And that's what kept happening.
Yeah.
The beer would show up, and I'd be like, oh, yeah, he's harmless.
That's our, that's our fat kid with candy.
The creepiness.
Yeah, it offsets the creepiness dramatically. But if I had opened the door, or imagine if I had seen the footage, because my Ring for some reason didn't record your arrival. Imagine if I had seen a full black bodysuit, no face, just faceless image show up and drop off the beer. I'd be like, BooBoo's freaky as shit.
True. Yeah, that would have been worse, I guess. But that's in one of the clues that I gave you in one of the letters. I'll put clue in apostrophes, but I said something about even if you saw me, you wouldn't know me. And you thought I was saying that because I was Double J, my brother.
Yeah.
Whereas I was saying it because I could wear that suit, and you wouldn't be able to see me even if I was there in person.
Yeah.
That makes that clue make more sense. So this was already premeditated, because you even said you were on a budget, and I'm going to hand deliver the next deli.
Yeah.
But
Because
right
I wasn't working, right? I'm I'm in school, no job, taking out loans.
This mother-
And
So
it all adds up in the end. Like when you look at it through his lens, but you look at it through my lens, it's very confusing.
now, BooBoo, our wives think this podcast is kind of silly. What does your wife think of you going through all of this
That's a great
for a
question.
podcast?
well, she doesn't like the podcast.
Yeah, that adds up. That adds up.
But mainly, you know why, is because one of the only ones she's listened to, you guys were hating on the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, Philly Spit.
that's-
Classic
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah, that's her team. So at that point, she wrote you guys off.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what a Philadelphia
That's
person
what a
would
Philly
do.
fan would do, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dead to the world,
she literally
scorched
spit
earth.
on my phone and said to turn it off.
You know what? I lost a buddy about that. He heard that one too, and he's like, "You guys may have the worst podcast I've ever heard." And I'm like, "You loved my podcast for a year now, and now he heard that." And he was
Hey,
like,
we're lucky
"Fuck
we
that."
haven't been stabbed yet for that podcast, honestly, the way Philly fans react.
Honestly, Philly Spit was funny, and we were riffing.
Yes.
I thought it was funny. For the record, Philly's
Honestly, she doesn't really. She thinks it's neat, but she doesn't listen to the podcast, so she's not that involved with it. But she thinks it's cool. She obviously supported me, buying beer and sending it, and actually, she was part of the decision-making process sometimes for some of the beer.
all right.
Because when we traveled around, that's one of the things that we like to do as a couple is go out when we go to breweries, San Diego or whatever, and get a flight of beer. And she'd be like, "Oh, this one tastes good. You might want to think about sending that one to the podcast."
Well, we like her. Let's
I like.
go on record.
In fact, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put together an exhaustive episode on all the things that are great about Philly, and we will do that one week. Now, granted, it will be the
Exhaustive?
first 3-minute episode we've ever done.
Right? Yes. Yeah.
I guess I'm going to have to die on this hill, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So Scranton has chosen Philly, and it's closer to Philly, not Pittsburgh, because I know everything in Pennsylvania is either Pittsburgh or Philadelphia.
Yeah. So Scranton's like northeast. They call it NEPA, northeastern Pennsylvania.
Oh, that's cute.
I like having the like Nova.
Kind of like Napa, but not.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So, do you know how we finally figured out who you are?
Oh, of course I do.
Was
And
that
it's
I think we talked about it, right?
I think I do. No, I don't know. You didn't say how, but I know that I became overconfident and I was lazy, and I think that's why you were able to discover my phone number.
that's correct? It was
Yes.
you had sent something from a downtown here in Richmond UPS store.
False.
Well, that's where it came from. Where did it come from? How did this work out?
It came from Sayre, Pennsylvania. But it must have.
It might have rooted
it must
through
have
that
gone
one.
through. Yes, I think it rooted through Richmond, and so that confused you. Yes, but no, I did not send it from Richmond.
So this is weird. Check this out. There was a UPS store. It had a UPS store address on the label, and there was a phone number on that label, but that phone number
Sharpied
marked
over.
was blacked out.
Yeah.
And I've got the eyes of a much older man than myself.
Yeah.
And I was having
It was the Abacus,
It
right?
was the Abacus, yeah.
So the Abacus is sitting over
Fucking
here
Abacus.
doing some.
The one time he gets something right.
He's doing some like weird shit over here.
Yeah, he was using like alternative light. Like
Yeah, he was shining all these
flashlights
lights
at
and he's
different angles.
and he's like deciphering numbers, and I'm like,
he's a numbers guy. Always
and
has
that's
been.
what I'm clowning him. I'm like, I don't trust your numbers. This is bullshit. But he writes down a string of 10 numbers, and he's like, this is the number that's under there that you've been trying while I've sat here. I've watched you go back and try to decipher it. He's like, here's the numbers. And I looked them up, and your name popped. And as soon as your name popped, I was like, holy shit. Like this all starts to make sense now because I had already been going down the road of it was possibly your brother. So it all connected. But that's
So I made a couple of fatal errors, and that's why my phone number was on there. Because normally what I would do is print my own label through the UPS site.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd weigh the package and blah, blah, blah. I'd print my own label, and I could make sure that the return address, said what I wanted it to, and it didn't have my telephone number or any name or anything like that.
Yep.
But this time I was trying to send you this beer, and I was busy with school or whatever, wasn't able to send it. I ended up going, I think it was my first semester I was doing clinical, which just means I was in the operating room like 5 days a week. And I was doing it at a hospital that was an hour and a half away from my townhouse. So I was like paying for extra housing. I was driving up there to Sayre, Pennsylvania. And I took this beer with me one time because I was like, I got to send this. And, didn't have a printer, couldn't do my own label. So I went to clinical that day, which means, I'm getting up at 5 a.m. I'm working all day, stressful environment. I get out at 3 p.m. and then I go get this beer. I'm like, I got to send it. I go to the UPS store. So I walk up to the counter and I'm like, hey, this is going to sound weird, but I need to send this package anonymously, and I need like, nothing that can identify me on it. And it's like some younger kid behind the counter
who hasn't put together this is okay. Probably a Unabomber instance.
Yeah.
Like exactly. I would be panicked.
I even made a comment. I probably looked
definitely not a
after
bomb.
being at work. And I literally said something like that. I was like, I promise it's not like a bomb or anything. I don't know what I said.
But it's not anyway, beer either.
Yeah.
it's
not
definitely
drugs.
Homemade salsa.
Yes.
The kid's pushing the red button under the desk furiously.
Well, so I do want to know how this process works because I've got someone I'm trying to prank. He hates mayonnaise, like hates it. And I want to send this dude a mayonnaise of the month club.
Yes.
Like somebody bought him this. And every month I'm going to send him a different mayonnaise. But I do need to understand how to spoof this. So this is good info for me.
Yeah, good. I'm glad this is educational.
Yes.
But anyway, he printed the label, and then, he's getting my information. He's like, oh, what's your return address? And I said, I don't want to put a return address. I want to make it anonymous. So he put like the UPS store's return address, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, okay, what's your phone number? I give him my phone number. Then he prints the label out, and he said, here, how's this look? And I look at it. I'm like, it's got my phone number on it. Like I said, I don't want
that.
them to be able to, yeah. So then he gives me the Sharpie marker, and I'm just like, at this point, I'm exhausted, and I know that you're notoriously not good at picking out details in these packages. So I'm like, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'll just Sharpie over it. No one's going to look that close. I even looked at it up close. I'm like, you can kind of see the numbers, but they're not going to look at it that close.
Oh, dude, I had a flashlight on that thing. As soon as I got it, I was like, what's blacked out? What's this?
Well, the rest is history. That was it.
That was the fatal flaw.
Yeah.
I think if you listen to true crime podcasts and TV shows, that says a lot about BooBoo. I think he wanted to get caught.
I think he wanted to get caught too.
He wanted to get caught.
I think
he was tired of running. And he was ready to face the music.
That's right.
Well, to be honest, it wasn't as exciting because I wasn't, I'm not traveling around as much anymore. So I know I sent you that beer from, the Susquehanna Brewing Company. That's not too far from where I'm living now. I made it a point to send from places I actually was, especially after you guys made the comment, like, oh, maybe he's not even really traveling around and maybe it's all made up. So yeah, I was sending beer from where I was at like 95% of the time.
Yeah,
so.
The Pilsner being the Iroquois being the one outlier.
Where did I send that from?
Well, you sent it from California, but that's from the Czech Republic. So that would be
where I first had that beer.
Was there?
In the Czech Republic.
Oh shit, so you had been there. See,
you were right. You said there.
BooBoo fucking mysterious as shit, isn't he?
I have been to the Czech Republic, yeah. I've been to Prague.
Damn. Oh, all right. So, quick question. Is it really that cheap and that fun?
I had a blast, yeah. I did my wife and I did, I think it was like a 10-day trip. So we did Prague, and then you take a train to Vienna, and then you take a train to Budapest.
That sounds fun.
I've heard Prague
was
is
awesome.
Prague is just an absolute blast, and people don't realize it. And it's not super expensive to do.
Is it stabby?
No, the whole trip wasn't bad. No, it wasn't stabby. It wasn't stabby at all.
Nice.
Out of the two, out of the three, Vienna was probably the worst. I'd probably skip Vienna. I mean, it was cool. There was some more historic type stuff there. I think like Mozart's house and like, random stuff to see. But Budapest was awesome. There's like these hot baths in Budapest, a lot of cool old architecture and stuff. And then Prague, yeah, awesome. I actually got engaged in Prague.
Ah, there you go. Oh, see, there's another clue.
Yes.
I missed every clue. The only thing that undid them was 10 numbers. And thank God. Thank God. 'Cause I would have ended up in a ditch somewhere.
Yeah.
Like I was freaking out, man.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't figure it out.
Maybe you did it for your own health, for your health, Brendan.
Maybe that's it. I mean, because you've seen me out here where
I was worried about you. Yeah.
I'm taking multiple letters and putting them next to each other and trying to see if there's a pattern, and I can't. I was
waiting
tough.
for a cipher to come through one time where like be a blank page with like squares cut out and you put it over the last note and certain words would be like.
You have no idea how much thought I put into this stuff. I definitely spent lots of time coming. I had thought of similar things. I thought about messing with you with like cut out letters and shit.
Oh God, magazine letters.
When it's all said and done, it says, "Don't forget to drink your Ovaltine," and I'm just pissed.
So the question is, for BooBoo, do we want to let the cat out of the bag, who BooBoo is, and say your name and who you are and all that stuff? Or, I mean, we've kind of alluded to it, but I didn't know if we wanted to.
Well, we've already said it's Jason Jones' brother.
Yes.
Well, we said Double J. We even kept that on.
Yeah. But now you've.
I think it does. I don't think it matters. I think I'm always going to be BooBoo. So
you will
I'll
forever
just
be BooBoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even think when I see you, I'll use your name. You know what I mean? Like you're BooBoo for life.
We do have to see you again, BooBoo. You gotta come down here with Double J, and we gotta grab some beers together and hang out.
Yeah, we owe you more than
you
just
a lot,
couple bottles of bourbon. Because in reality, man, if I'm being honest, this has been so much fun. This has been
a blast.
That was great to experience. I know it wasn't intended to be that way at the beginning. You were just being a good listener and sending some beer, but it took on the persona, and it was so much fun. And you don't understand the joy that we would get when we would get these things, and we would all sit around and like pontificate on what the words meant, and we would call out the different clues and discuss. And I mean, it was a blast, man. So we certainly appreciate it, but there's no reason it has to end. As far as the Mysterio is definitely a little less, but the BooBoo's for life.
Well, I'm glad to hear that because, saying it brought you joy, that's kind of part of the reason I wanted to send in stuff, you probably don't get enough appreciation for, the putting out these podcasts every week and, giving the listeners something to listen to, so it was me sending the beer was me trying to be a part of the podcast. When you guys are talking in my ear when I'm driving or cutting the grass or doing dishes or whatever, I can't interject like as if I was there, but even though I don't know you guys personally, I've, come to know you listening to the podcast the whole time. So, it's nice to be a part of, and, I'm glad that, I could bring you guys some joy because you're giving out the joy with your podcast.
That means the world.
That.
Yeah.
You have
that's
no
awesome.
idea. No idea. Because the money, it's not for the money. I've proven that.
Yeah, we have definitely proven it's not for the money.
It has literally nothing to do. In fact, we just lose money.
It's for the lack of money.
Yeah.
We do it for the loss of money. So, yeah, anytime anyone interacts with us, and that's what, it's a joke. I lose my cool about getting people to, rate and review and interact.
BooBoo's wants to pick a bone with you about that.
Okay. But
don't get me started about
the interactions, though, that's what matter. Like, that's what we feed off of. That is our money. I mean, that's the monetary value of it. So go ahead. I'm all ears. Lay into me.
I remember when I wrote in and said about the rating and reviewing, you said, and I quote, fuck you, BooBoo.
Wait, that doesn't sound like me. Oh, wait, yes, it does.
No. You never get on your high horse about rating and reviewing.
What did I? Hold on.
Allow me.
Oh, is it in the letter there?
Lastly, Troy, for the love of God, take the time to walk the listeners through how to rate and review the show. I've tried multiple times. I don't use iTunes or Apple Podcast. Good luck.
Yep.
That was the first.
That's right.
And then I let you know that BooBoo had called you out specifically, and I believe you eloquently just told him to fuck off. As opposed to actually doing the one thing he asked, which was walk the people through.
He doesn't use the iTunes.
I don't. I'm not an iTunes. I'm not an Apple guy.
So I wouldn't even know how you listen to it then, because that's the only thing I use. So when I guess I'm being bullheaded in that if it's really easy on the Apple iTunes thing, and I really don't know how anyone else listens to it.
In true BooBoo fashion, he told us what he doesn't do, but left the 1,000 other options that he could do. So, he's like, I don't do iTunes or Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
Had you said Spotify or Google Podcasts or any?
Yeah. How do you listen to podcasts? I assume we're not the only one. So what's the modality for you?
Currently, I use Spotify.
Okay.
And they recently updated their app, and you can rate. And guess what? You guys got 4 stars because Troy was a dick. No, just kidding. You got 5 stars. You got 5. You got 5 stars.
I have not. I haven't fully adopted the Spotify yet. Like I stopped listening to Rogan once he went over there.
I did too. He lost me at that point, which is unfortunate. But I use the Google podcast. I used to use Podcast Addict. I like that one a lot.
I had no idea because I'm a stupid Apple person that there's that many. I mean, obviously, everybody knows Spotify, but like I didn't know there was third-party apps that could aggregate all that stuff. That's pretty crazy.
But that's precisely what Apple wants.
I used to use a different one that you couldn't rate or review either. I don't remember. It was like, I don't remember the name of it. But yeah, there's a ton of random apps on the Android
Well, maybe
store.
that's my problem. Maybe we have thousands of listeners that aren't able to rate and review because they don't use the Apple. Let's go with that.
That's
hundreds of thousands.
Hundreds of thousands. That's right.
See, in true BooBoo fashion, I like his response better.
That's right. Well, obviously, he knows when I was. That sounds like a drunk Troy podcast too. When I said that,
oh, for sure, yeah.
I was definitely ribbing him
because you go very sober. You are a very thoughtful and caring person, and then your first few drinks, you even care more, and then you get to a point of diminishing returns where your care really starts to fall off, and then you like to just jab.
That's on the podcast. I don't really do that in real life. That's more like no.
That's what I'm saying. You like to become a little more confrontational than
some people like it. I don't know.
It makes for a good podcast, I think. I like it.
I don't like to be that guy. I don't like to be that guy.
No, but you like being that when you're drinking on the podcast.
No, it is fun to like
talk shit.
Talk a little trash.
Because you love talking shit. Let's not get it twisted.
Who doesn't?
Oh, I agree. I agree.
Especially when there's nobody to talk directly back to me. It's real easy.
Oh, yeah. The internet's great, right? And how about a fuck you for you?
Yeah, I can just say whatever I want.
Totally anonymously.
This is how cyberbullying got started.
That's exactly right. You look up cyberbullying, there's a picture of Troy. Dude, I can't thank you enough.
Yeah,
though,
honestly,
BooBoo. It's been a hell of a run, man. It's been a lot of fun. And like I said, it's not over. We certainly want to, keep engaging with you in any way we can. But now that and when you go to back to Greenville, we need that address too.
Sure. I know you guys should come down there. My brother's down there. You guys can come hang out with both of us.
We definitely need to come down there.
We should do a remote down there.
That would be awesome.
There's a little pizza place downtown. It's
Sabara.
Yes. The best New York pizza ever. No, there's a pizza place right downtown. It's got a huge beer selection. It's got to be probably the most popular pizza place downtown in Greenville. Does that, or am I crazy? It's like on the main strip there. Does that ring any bell? I know I'm not giving you much.
That's not much help.
No, I'm not.
No, not really.
Well, this place has some
Barley's, maybe? Barley's?
Yeah, it's the beer and pizza place, right? Yeah, Barley's.
Yeah, Barley's Tap House. Yeah, they have great pizza.
They have great pizza. So the last time I was down there, I went there with a buddy of mine, and we were down there for work. And so we had a couple beers. We each got a couple pies. And we ended up getting horrifically sick from it.
Oh God. Okay.
What a ringing endorsement.
But but it didn't hit us until the next day. So we're sitting in this meeting, and both of us just start sweating profusely. And we're sitting across this table, and we're trying to explain why we're the best, and everyone else should go screw, and you should only work with us. And now my stomach's turning, and I'm sweating. And I was just getting so uncomfortable. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, he doesn't look right either. And the only thing we've shared together was a couple Barley's pies.
Yeah.
And so the meeting like mercifully comes to an end. And they're like, let's go to lunch. And we're like, yeah. We're like, we just need one minute. And we both run down the hall to the bathroom and we sidecar each other, 2 stalls, and just sit and just you end up hearing just the most Dumb and Dumber shit you've ever heard coming out of both of us, and just waterfalls.
Just thinking you're dying.
Yeah, and we both walk out. We look at each other. I was like, "So you too, huh?" And he's like, "Man, I could barely get through that meeting." He's like, "I was sweating so bad." I was like, "Yeah, that was rough." We both felt much better, but I can tell you that pizza's a lot better going in than coming out. But we should go to
maybe when you come visit, we'll go to a different place. Not Barley's.
Without the explosive diarrhea.
Well, I tell you, that night it was fine. It was a next day problem. So I could.
You probably got the cleanse pizza.
There you go.
Yes. Yeah. This is the only pizza you can eat and still lose 5 pounds.
There you go.
It's the best. So no, but we do have to get down there. I totally agree. We get down there. Do a show with.
We owe both of you guys a visit. It's been too long to see Double J and definitely you as well, BooBoo.
So
sure.
How long until you get down there? Like, when will you be done?
So let's see. This is a busy time for me because my wife is 38 weeks pregnant today. So we're having our thank you. We're having our first kid due April 30th, and then I graduate from my program May 20th.
We'll see you in 2 years.
Yeah.
The week after that, I move back to South Carolina, and then 3 weeks after that, I have to take my national board certification exam, and then I start work the week after that.
Yeah, you're gonna be busy for the next 6 months to a year.
Nikes. All right, well let's
once we get past July, I'll be available.
That's what I was saying. Late summer to early fall is probably the best time then, because you need to breathe, man. You didn't time that very well.
First kid?
Yeah.
Is this your
I don't
first
know.
kid?
I think I timed it almost right. Yeah, first kid.
Awesome, man. Congrats.
Yeah, I guess in some respects, just knock it all out at once.
Yep.
Then it's like life begins. Well, second life.
Yeah. Your new life.
A whole new adventure begins. I'm not in the RV anymore, but I'm starting off on another adventure, so it's exciting.
You gonna keep it and take the family out in it?
Honestly, we want to downsize. I mean, I love the RV community. I love doing the RV thing, but obviously towing it with my Sonata is going to be rough. And it's huge. It's a 40-foot. So
I can't imagine pulling that sucker across the country.
Oh, dude, we didn't even get into all the problems I encountered, but I know this is a lot of content for the listeners. But maybe next time I ran into plenty of issues with the RV.
I'm sure. And the stressor of just driving it, just towing it.
Oh yeah. No, in heavy traffic in DC and going through Vail and all that crap. Yeah, it's stressful.
Just the thought of DC to Vail.
Yeah.
He had me stressed out.
Just driving a car through those places.
He just chose 2 different, very, very different ends of the spectrum, of the earth. Yeah, you've been all over.
I hit them all, yeah.
Well, dude, we thank you so much, honestly.
Thanks again.
This has been a lot of fun.
Thank you guys.
I'm
glad that it finally came together.
I'm going to say that this is going to be one of our more popular episodes for sure.
Oh, I think so, because I'm probably going to have BooBoo is Revealed. It's probably the name, right? And then I bet we do get a lot of downloads for this. So
let's hope they're not disappointed.
Yeah, when all that money rolls in, we'll have to give you your 10%.
We can talk numbers after the show.
Yeah, exactly.
There we go.
I'll tell you what. Here's what I'll do. If we do all of a sudden have this episode and it blows up and we get, hundreds of thousands of downloads, and we can actually start pulling advertising, I will cut you in.
For sure.
That's how confident I am that it won't happen.
We'll double the number we were going to make.
Yes, exactly. I'll just give you all the cash.
Yeah.
That's how confident I am. No, thank you so much. And I appreciate you taking the time. I know it wasn't easy for us to pull this together with everybody's schedules. It has been more difficult than I thought it would be at first, but also I shouldn't be surprised because every week we go through the same problem.
Yep.
When are we recording? How are we recording? What are we doing? So I appreciate you you working with us.
Yeah, we made it happen, and let's do it again.
Hell
For
yeah,
sure.
man. For sure. Thanks again, and we'll talk soon.
All right.
Congrats
Later.
again on the baby, man.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thanks.
Hi,
All
man.
right, BooBoo.
Cheers.
All right. Bye.
BooBoo Mysterio, dude.
We did it. We talked to BooBoo, and he was awesome. He was awesome on the show.
He sounds a lot like his brother, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Like to the point that I'm like, is this bullshit? Did Jason get another phone? No, but I know.
Jason giggles too much.
That's true. Boo-Boo's got just a
Yeah.
normal laugh.
Yeah.
Jason's like, ha!
No, but he was great, man. All his stories were so interesting. Like, I just found him really interesting. We've met him one time, and I don't really. When I hang out with Jason, we don't talk about our families. We're hanging out. We don't get to hang out a lot, so we're catching up. We're not.
No, we're buddies. So
We're
it's
talking
like
about
doing guys
our own families, but we're not talking about, hey, what's your sibling up to? He's not asking about my brother, and I'm not asking about his brother. So it was nice to learn. That sounds really cool, man, to be able to travel around and be a traveling nurse like that and see the whole country.
Yeah, my wife lives in that universe.
Yeah.
Jason
Oh, yeah.
to it. And so I hear it, and I'm like, man, that sounds like an awesome gig.
They get paid bank, too.
They do.
Yeah.
Because it's difficult.
Yeah, it's hard to find.
keep moving, and we have a need. Okay, I'll fill that need, and then I'll move on. So you get paid accordingly.
Yeah.
Dude, we got a deli.
Yeah, it's deli time. A
little
late, but this is the back to the original microbrew, Sierra Nevada. This
agree.
is Sunny Little Thing, Citrus Wheat Ale.
I actually have high hopes for this
Me too.
because Sierra Nevada does a damn good job, and I love a good wheat ale.
Family owned, operated, and argued over. That's pretty funny.
BooBoo has sent us a Sierra Nevada before.
5%. I'm trying to read. Doesn't really have much descriptor on it other than a citrus wheat ale.
That's little
Sunny Little Thing.
little tart.
Now, this is part of a package. There's multiple little things. Like, I saw at least two other
Hazy little
ones.
thing. all
Yeah.
those, yeah.
And today, since we are recording at 3 o'clock on a beautiful Saturday afternoon, I was like, oh, I got to get the Sunny Little Thing.
That was a good call. It's a good call. Wait till you try that beer, man. It has got a quick kick in the nuts, like right out the jump. It almost has like a sour. It's not.
It does have a sour.
But you know how it pops your mouth. Like
yeah.
that.
But citrus can be sour, depending on what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. Stu told
We're not
me
here.
that citrus is only oranges.
Was it only oranges? Yes.
Yeah, and nothing else is.
No
citrus.
lemons, no limes.
Don't exist.
Not in the citrus world.
Not where he is, London.
In London.
That dude, he's in London.
I'm telling you, dude's done more traveling since I've known him. I've never been overseas, so he's already just going to London. He's blown me out of my.
Have you been out of the country?
Been to Mexico.
Okay, so you've done
Been to the Caribbean.
the
and
mini
Mexico,
stew,
yeah.
mini stew. But that
But
beer,
I've never been to Canada.
neither have I.
You lived in Canada.
My bloodline.
Oh, okay. You never spent any time up there.
The closest I've gotten, I've technically been on Canadian water.
Oh.
Never on Canadian soil. I've canoed in Canada.
Nice. You didn't set foot.
No,
You should have paddled over to the other side and just touched your toe.
I should have. I didn't know at the time though that I was Canadian.
Oh yeah.
It was only information I got later. I was like, oh, Canadian. Should have stopped there. Dude, this is an interesting beer.
It is interesting.
I don't know if I love it or hate it. Actually, that sip right there. Yeah.
The third sip changes you.
Yeah. No. The first two, I was like, first one was tart. Second one was like, okay, I'm trying to figure this out. Third one?
It says IPA.
No, it doesn't. It says wheat ale.
Oh, that's what it was. I thought all they did, it's a wheat ale. I thought it was a wheat IPA. Okay, that makes sense. Because I was going to say there's no
IPA in there.
No.
Yeah, that's actually, I'm almost ready to give a verdict. That's how quickly that one crept up on me.
I think I got a verdict.
Well, now I'm going back and forth because I don't know what that sound was. It came from the depths of. That wasn't a belch.
Was that me?
No, that was my stomach. Yeah. Like I said, I haven't eaten much.
Yeah.
Like, different world right now. If you like oranges, this is heavenly.
Yes.
Because this is a Blue Moon with an orange in it, but
Yeah.
a higher quality base.
Yes.
That's how I would describe that. It's very
good. It's good.
It is good. It's a Hefeweizen with an orange in it, not a lemon. It's a
The more I drink of this, the more I like. And only 5%, so it's drinkable. You're not gonna get over your skis.
It's mad refreshing.
Yeah.
All right, it's mad refreshing. The orange is good. It's not some fake bullshit.
No.
Tastes good. The base of that beer, the wheat beer that it is, the base is solid.
Yep.
I will buy this again.
Yes.
I will drink this again.
Yep.
I will enjoy it again. That's a 4.
Wow. 4. I'm torn. This started out as a 3.
Same with me. And then I went to a 3.5.
Then it went to a 3.5.
And then I was like, Troy's going to go 3.5. This is my logic. Troy's going to go 3.5. I'm going to give it the 4.
It gets over the deli hump.
I was literally putting it over the hump because I was like 3.5, 4. And I just,
because we could have both gone 3.5,
and then it wouldn't
yeah.
get over the hump. So I'm basing it on the fact that you're going to land at 3.5 because you're probably questioning 3.5, 4.
Yeah.
So I just took the 4.
You're right. You're spot on. That's what I was gonna do.
Yeah.
But now I'm gonna go 4.
Fuck.
Because every sip of this I have after the third sip, it gets better. I think it's getting better with each sip.
It's definitely getting better because it's getting less orangey, like less candy, like less sweet, I should say, and more just like enjoyable.
It's just the right amount of orange.
Dare I say?
Dare you say?
Crushable.
5%. It is crushable. So we got 2 4s. So that's a deli. Now we might have to try the other little things line to see how the other ones
I like
out.
the hazy little thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've had that, right? Have we done that one?
I mean, I've had it. I
Yeah.
don't know if I've done it on the podcast. That's one of those that I'm always afraid to buy.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I've had this a dozen times.
Mm-hmm.
Was one of them on a mic.
Yes. I can't keep up. Like, I walked up and down the beer aisle at Publix 4 times looking for something that we hadn't had, and I was like, think we've had this? I almost bought this malt beverage called, like, Cayman Jack. That was like a mojito
I
thing
saw that.
looked interesting. Just to
The one watch out I would give people with this beer, because I don't want, if you're not an orange person.
yes, you have to like the taste of orange in your beer.
Yeah. Like if you're not an orange person, don't go into this thinking you're going to get subtleties and notes of other things that is going to make it enjoyable to you. It will not. This is going to be an orange with a solid wheat beer base.
So the can is orange.
Is
with
it
yellow.
really?
So all of this, Brendan, is
It looks
orange.
green.
Everything, all this is orange. This is all yellow.
Looks
And-
green to me.
And then that's red. The lettering's red or deep orange, but all this is light orange.
I thought it was ironic that they went with lime colored can.
So it says citrus sweet ale, but yes, you're right. It tastes like an orange, so you gotta like orange.
You got to like oranges, and I love oranges. So
To me, it's not like I crush oranges, like eat them all the time, but I just think an orange
What a great
beer
flavor.
is such a great flavor.
yeah, no, I mine's almost done.
Mine too.
That's how good it is.
Yeah.
That's a 4 right
That's
there.
definitely a 4.
That's how you know. Hey, so I'm gonna tell a quick story
Okay.
because we're in an hour 23. We've already done an episode thanks to BooBoo just
Killing it.
doing a whole damn episode for us. So I only got one story I want to talk about.
Yeah, I could have kept talking with him, but I didn't want to keep him on the line. Like,
I'd look down. It was an over an hour.
I know, and we didn't talk pre-show about like how much time he had. So, and it's a Saturday afternoon. I didn't want to like keep him too long. So I was like, let's wrap it up. I knew we had to do a deli anyway, so that's why.
Yeah, no, I was on the same page. I don't want to
cool.
I don't want to be like, fuck, they took up a whole afternoon.
Yeah.
But I could have talked to that dude all day. I got
sure.
a million questions. I still have questions.
Yeah.
But then every time when he was like, you idiot, I was like, well, maybe I should stop asking questions. I'm making myself look dumb.
He put a lot of thought into it.
I know, but we knew he did. I mean, you look at that. The dude showed up here in a full bodysuit.
That's hilarious and sketchy.
And the person next door said, oh, yeah, black SUV.
And a blonde chick.
Dude showed up not in an SUV.
And the vehicle wasn't black.
And he walked down the damn street
Yeah.
with the 6-pack of beer in his hand in a full bodysuit.
He did have a hoodie on over it.
And she didn't pick up on
And
this?
sweatpants.
He had no face.
He had no face. You looked in that hoodie and you saw no face.
You kind of would pick up on that.
Yeah. That
Which would have been so much better if she had been like, strangest thing, the guy had no face. I'd be like, that's BooBoo. That's BooBoo. No, she said, could be a man or a woman, black SUV.
No help.
I was actually thinking about like having her help me with some
No.
she's out.
Yeah, she's done.
Done. She's done. Furious. So you may recall, this is a couple years ago. In fact, it was 2 years ago because it was right at the beginning of the pandemic. Around that Easter, I had some sparrow. I had a nest in my screened-in porch,
Yes.
and it had just sat there for a couple years, vacant. And sparrows will go and like they'll find a nest and they'll just toss the eggs out and then plop their eggs in there and just sit on it and then fight away the bird that's like, where are my eggs? That's what sparrows do. They're scavengers.
Yeah.
They don't build nests.
Like, why build a house when you could squat in someone else's?
Yeah, they're squatters. That's probably a pretty good way to do it. So we had raised those sparrows, and you may recall, we didn't have a very good return on our investment.
Yeah.
There were things went wrong.
Yeah.
Birds died. They had been chucked from it, and they couldn't find their way out of the screened-in porch. Now, there was one. I refer to him as Rocky. Shout out to BooBoo's wife. Love Philly. So Rocky, like, that dude jumped out of the nest, hit the ground, flapped his wings, was able to fly a little bit, like, on the jump. And he just walked out, found the door, and was like, hell yeah, and left.
Peace.
So I'm, like, very confident that one lived. The other ones, unfortunately, ran into my dog. My dog gave one a heart attack. It jumped up so high and tried to fly when he lunged at it that his heart just exploded. By the time that dude hit the ground, he was dead.
How are they getting in there? Do you have a hole or something? I know your door isn't like...
We keep the door open.
Oh, for the
because
dogs.
Otherwise, you have to open the one door, and then you have to go open another door.
Yeah.
It's just too much.
Yeah.
So we just open the one. So we always leave there. Like there's probably like a 3-foot gap on that door,
Yeah.
and birds find their way in there all the time.
We do the same thing with our screen porch.
Yeah, it's just like I can't. It's screened enough.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and then if you do want to go out during mosquito season at night, you just shut the door.
You shut the door.
Yeah.
It's a pretty simple process. But the other 95% of the time, I want the door open so I don't have to open 2 doors for the dogs.
Yeah. And you don't want the dogs tearing through the screen.
No, because they will.
Yeah.
And then that was the other thing. They would come up and they would scratch on the screen instead of the door at the house.
Yeah.
And then they ruin screens. So I was constantly replacing screens. I was like, screw this. So I leave a gap wide enough for the dogs to get in and out. Well, birds, of course, find their way in. The sparrows had found their way in. And unfortunately, they didn't make it. You know, we the first one, Rocky, made it
Did you
out.
get rid of the nest?
I did. I removed the nest.
Yeah.
It was gone. Well, so we think that maybe 2 of the 6 birds that were born in here survived. One of them I was playing with. You shouldn't play with baby bird, but they were so cute. And they would eat because I was like literally feeding them at one point. Like we would go out there, we'd feed them stuff. Like we were keeping them alive. And then one of them was getting very comfortable and he was hopping on my leg and he fell off and hit his head.
Oh, no.
It didn't work out well. I had to tell the girls that one made it.
He's sleeping.
Yeah, like I was like, oh, get rid of that. So like it was heartbreaking. Like it was bad to watch. So 2 of them did make it out. The first one and the very last one made it out, and everyone else was kind of humped. So we were like, we're taking down that nest. We vowed never
do this again.
because it's just sad to watch.
Yeah.
Like it's exciting and then it's super sad.
Yeah.
Well, we went away last week on vacation
Yep.
and I came back and there was a nest opposite end of my screened-in porch.
Ooh.
And I was like, oh shit, what's this? And I was like, all right, well, there's nothing there. Like, we're probably good. So I just held my phone up there and took a picture. No, there's 6 eggs in that nest.
Mm-hmm.
And this mom and dad, the mom sits on it all day. And then the dad shows up around 6 o'clock, which is just so funny to watch that it's like literally just kind of like the old school 1950s world. Like the mom's at home and like the dad's goes
out
away and then he
collecting
comes back.
stuff, getting food.
And this fucking dude, he comes back, dude. He stinks of scotch and cigars every time. Like, I don't think he's up to any good.
He's got another family across town.
I think he does. I think this dude's a piece of shit. I gotta be honest. I'm a little worried about him. He just reeks, you know?
Yeah.
I've been finding horse track and dog track tickets.
Yep.
Like, this dude's shady as shit. I don't think he's really working.
No. Just puts a suit on like he's going to work.
Oh, he's leaving.
Yeah.
I see him leave every day.
Yeah.
And I see him come home at 6, but he's got glitter on him. You know, he's just been with strippers all day. I'm very upset with this dude. But so
the mom has a cocktail waiting for him, though, right?
You're damn right she does. This little tiny bourbon just sitting there waiting. No, she's good people.
Yeah.
But I don't trust him.
Doing the best you can.
I don't trust him one bit. But so now every day, like I'm watching this mom, she's sitting there and like I'll walk out and then she comes out and she postures up.
Yeah.
Like sits on my screen like, bitch, tries to distract the dogs. Like she flies to their side so the dogs take note.
Yeah.
Just anything she can do to keep the tension off the nest. But now I'm nervous because I know how this ends.
Yeah.
This
Massacre.
ends with me failing. But then I started thinking about it. You know, in nature, they don't live.
Most of them don't. Yeah, that's why they have a bunch.
Yeah, they
Kind of
drop.
like the 50s family. They'd have 10 kids and 7 would.
Oh yeah,
make
you
it
go back to like the
adulthood.
1800s.
Oh yeah,
You know, you have 12 kids, so you can have 2.
yeah,
That's just kind of it. So my goal right now is I'm looking for a 50% return.
return. Yeah,
I've got 6 eggs. If I can get 3 out into the world, I'm going to feel pretty good about it. But it's difficult because they're in a screened-in porch. I get birds trapped in there all the time. They can't figure it out.
yeah,
Now, your first time seeing the world, you got to figure out the maze that is a 3-foot gap over there, and all the rest of this is sheltered.
yep. But it looks open.
Looks open, yeah. You keep bumping your stupid head. You know these. So I see her every day, and I'm enjoying this part of it. And I'll enjoy when they start squawking and she's feeding them, and I'll enjoy watching that.
Yeah.
But I know what's coming. Disappointment.
We have a dove who's done that on our front porch, above our front door, and actually the ledge up there sloped. So I have to go up there and put a piece of packing tape across the front. So because it builds a nest and falls off, builds a nest, fall off. Once I see that, I put the packing tape up
To hold the
and
nest
it holds
in?
the nest in. And but there's glass right above it, right next to the nest. So when you come down the hallway towards the front door to go up the stairs, the dove spooks and flies away because it's like,
Yeah, sure.
but I'm like, we're on this side. Like, we're not going to
But
get
they don't
you.
know that.
Yeah, they don't know that.
Yeah.
But I've seen the dad, and I've seen a couple chicks now hatch.
That's awesome. It's a cool thing to
But I
watch.
think one egg did roll out of the nest and is up against the tape. So it's like not in the proper nest. And I don't think that one's going to make it.
Oh, you should eat that, dude. Crack a little tiny egg. Because those eggs are like the size of like a chocolate malt ball.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
they're super
Yeah,
small.
They are.
It's not a big meal.
Yeah. You're going to need a whole rack of them.
Well, I might eat 6. I definitely have 6 little tiny, and I don't know what kind of bird it is, but it's small as shit. And I'm like, even looking at that, I'm like, how did this chick squeeze that stuff out?
Yeah.
6 times.
Yeah. 6 of them.
The hell of a woman. Maybe that's why the dude's flying around. She's
That's
like
right. He's getting other.
throwing a hot dog down a hallway. You know? Like it's not as much fun as it once was. Bertha's pretty big now.
He's only getting 1 or 2 sides at a time.
Yeah, he's like, this is trash.
Yeah.
1 or 2. Honestly, I see these eggs. I see the size of this mom. He's lucky to get any size. Like I could literally just hump the air.
It is cool though to see that kind of stuff, but yeah, when it turns, you're like,
I just know what's coming.
yeah,
In the same respect, like tomorrow, I'm cooking another Easter brisket.
oh yeah,
I'm doing that tonight. I know how this ends.
I hope you're going to start earlier.
Dude, I may start as soon as this podcast ends, which means it could be ready for breakfast.
You better be earlier than late.
I would far rather be early than late. So I got to figure that out. I got to make some decisions as soon as we.
Yeah, decisions need to be made.
Yeah, because I got to figure out if I'm going to slow play it through the night or if I'm going to wake up really early and hit it hard.
Yeah.
Which is how I failed last time. So you know what? No, the decision is made.
Yeah.
I'm slow playing it through the night.
That's right. Yeah, if it's done at 11 a.m., so be it.
So be it.
Brunch brisket, it is.
Yeah, it just means I have to
and we
get
can
up.
reheat it for evening time.
Yeah, it just means I have to get up much earlier than I'd like to get up on a Sunday.
Yeah, but even if you didn't slow play it, that you'd have to get up earlier anyway.
Oh yeah, dude, smoking meat,
It's work.
it's a lot of work. It's not like hard work. It's like it's work you can do while drinking beer, but every couple hours you have to make a crucial move
Yep.
to get it right. And I just have a hard time.
And there's no
figuring it out.
guarantee.
None.
Yeah.
No, I could serve jerky to the family tomorrow night.
Yeah, or raw meat. Like,
Well, I've got a thermometer says it won't be raw. But then again, I could sleep too long. Like it could cook in overnight and I wake up in the morning and it's jerky.
yeah.
I'm either going to have jerky or late dinner.
Brisket jerky. The most expensive jerky you've ever had.
Yeah, but you know who loves it? Baby birds. I'm just going to choke them with beef. That's it. That'll keep
There you
the
go.
eggs warm. I'll throw the brisket up there and keep
There you
it
go.
warm. I got big plans, Troy.
You can make brisket and eggs tomorrow morning.
Dude, I would do that. That would be pretty good. This beer is fantastic. I think what I'm going to do
Love
is
this beer.
I say we shut this down and drink another beer
For sure.
because I like that Sierra Nevada sunny little thing.
Yep.
It's a tasty
Recommend it.
BooBoo, thank you again. I know you're
Can't thank you enough, BooBoo. We owe
probably
you
listening. It's been 4 or 5 years of fun. And to all of the people out there who were like, because I heard this a lot, you guys are making it up. You know who he is. Allow me to say, I had no clue who this guy was. This took a lot of effort to figure out by the abacus. A lot of wasted energy by me and 20 minutes of him focusing. I should have just turned all the letters over to the abacus early.
He did a good job.
BooBoo did a hell of a job.
He did. He told us he put a lot of work in. It showed. It definitely showed.
So I wouldn't look at it as the end of an era, the beginning of the second chapter.
That's right.
BooBoo's about to have a kid. He's going to graduate.
And if someone else wants to be a new BooBoo, you got big shoes to fill.
Yeah, like clown size shit.
Yeah.
Best of luck. None of these other shit bags have the wherewithal.
No.
The
The chutzpah. Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't happen.
No. You can't do it.
No
Don't
chance.
even try.
I was thinking about. No, you weren't.
No, you weren't. All right.
Awesome. Well, shout out to BooBoo.
Shout out to BooBoo.
Thank you again for everything. And everybody out there who's been listening, look, thank you guys so much. I hope many of you have been around long enough to understand all of the BooBoo. If you haven't had a chance, go back. Usually you'll see his name either in the title or at least in the write-up.
Yeah.
But there's probably about 8 different episodes that are...
There's usually pictures of his pictures that he sent in or his
Yeah, there'll always be some
envelope,
clues. So you can go back
letters.
and listen. It's a lot of fun, to say the least.
He had us on the ropes for a long time.
Long time, but we finally got him.
Yep.
So thank you, Abacus. Thank you, BooBoo. We finally pieced it together. If y'all haven't had a chance to send money, yeah, you can always do that. He's over at Venmo
We
account.
like it at Inside the Pallet House on Venmo.
That's the one. And if you need a mortgage, head over to Screen Door Mortgage and reach out to them. And I tell you, Jimmy will take care of you. You'll make that process easy. If you haven't had a chance to send us any topics, you can always do so at insidethepallethouse@gmail.com, or you can find us on our Facebook page, or you can always find us on Instagram and Twitter at ITPH Podcast. But Facebook's probably the better way to get a hold of us, or that email. That's probably the way to do it. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We'll be talking to you next week. Cheers.
Cheers.
It's a good beer.
Very good beer. That was a pretty mysterious episode, wouldn't you say?
Oh, you shook it up, Troy.
Switch it on him.
Yeah, man, I tell you what, that dang old internet, man, you just go on there and point, click, 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 click. It's real easy, man.